I'm joining you all today from Tim Steiner. And before you ask, it was a colleague that came up with a name, and no one even told me before everybody and all the colleagues in the building had voted on it and decided it was their favourite. I guess they like to have a little laugh at my expense. We're here in Hatfield, which is the epicenter of the Ocado Global Campus. We've got about half of our R&D going on within a few miles of this location. And it's here that we develop all our solutions for our global partners. We're now hopefully entering a post-COVID new normal. And the grocery market globally has changed, and it's changed for good, and it's changed permanently. And here at Ocado, we're at the epicenter of helping our clients to deliver to their customers fresher food, broader ranges, better execution, and at lower prices than they could without our help. And I'm joined here today by Stephen Daniff, our new CFO, who we're delighted to have on board. And Stephen, why don't you start off by giving us a few of your thoughts after your first few months on board?
Thanks a lot, Tim. Yeah, it's great to be on board. Really enjoyed the first 3 months. I mean, crikey, it's been busy. I've met a lot of people. I've been largely in listening mode, hopefully learning quite a bit as well. I've learned a whole new language. I've learned about totes, I've never heard of before, and eaches. So there's a whole vocabulary here at Ocado that I'm getting used to. I've been really struck by the energy of the place. There's a real drive here, a real determination, a real can-do attitude. And I think, I said it before, Ocado has achieved enormous things over the last 20 years. I'm really excited to be part of Ocado, hopefully delivering even more growth going forward. I think there's bags of potential in this organisation. I'm struck by how many opportunities there are for Ocado, and I want to do my best to deliver on the potential that the company has. So it's great to be on board. Thanks very much.
That's brilliant. Well, as I say, we're really happy to have you here.
So I was thinking, Tim, that before we get into the numbers, our half-year numbers that we're reporting today, I thought what I'd like to do is just ask you a few questions to get your insight on the market. And what I'd like to start with is that it's been a long 15 months for all of us living with COVID. There are some signs, reasons to be optimistic, but there's still a lot of uncertainty out there. But as we come out the other side, you've said a number of times now that you think the global grocery market has changed for good. What gives you the confidence to say that?
Look, I think we've seen a massive acceleration in an existing trend. So the channel shift was there before, but obviously it's been accelerated because of COVID. But what we've always learned is that when people try the service, they learn that it's a better way to get their groceries. So we've just, more people have tried it, more people have learned that benefit. And obviously there's an additional benefit in terms of being a safer way to get your groceries, less chances of catching anything nasty, which people are much more aware of now, even if we manage to get this, and hopefully do get this COVID under control. I think what we've seen in the last 15 months that is going to change dramatically is that we've also, we've seen an enormous acceleration in demand that couldn't be matched by the services customers really wanted. And then customers were sometimes going to services that were either limited in range or very expensive or, slightly different that could fulfill an urgent need that they had at that point in time. And so I think as we move to a new normal, you're going to see services like, Ocado Retail in the UK building up its capacity to serve more customers. And then those that couldn't get access to that service that wanted it can migrate to it. And some of those overpriced services, for example, will fall away and customers will migrate back to going to stores again. But I think generally the shift to online is been enormous. And whilst you've seen a small amount of it go back into the stores as we've opened up and as people have been vaccinated and stuff like that, the majority of the move has stayed and there is still underlying growth to, going forwards.
Thanks a lot for that, Tim. Now, you've talked quite a bit before about the versatility or the flexibility of the Ocado Smart Platform and how it's becoming indispensable for grocers worldwide as they consider entering, if not already in, the online delivery market. Can you tell us a bit more about that versatility or flexibility of the system?
Look, what I think is so unique about the Ocado Smart Platform compared to anything else you can see out there in the market is how, it spans everything from, in-store fulfillment through dark stores, through manual warehouses, semi-automated warehouses, micro-automated warehouses, minis, and large ones as well. So we've got the whole breadth in there. that is incredibly useful, that it can always address whatever mission our partners have to solve. So, if they are in a low population, not densely populated area, then they can adopt in-store fulfillment to be online. But if they're building in a large global city, then they can build a big warehouse and possibly some micros as well to do immediacy. And I think that not only means that we can address all their missions, but it means we're the only person really that's empowered to have an honest conversation with our global partners about what they should be deploying. Because a lot of people out there who have got one product, they sell in-store fulfillment, they sell micro warehouses, they want to position them as the answer to every question. They're not the answer to every question, but by having the full suite of products available, then we do have the right product available for every possible combination of issues and scenarios that our clients and future clients might have.
And that must have huge appeal for our potential customers.
Look, we're already seeing our customers deploying more parts of our platform, and we know from the conversations that we're having that we expect them to deploy even more of those. And yes, it has that advantage of being able to say, okay, let's start with in-store fulfillment here, let's build a warehouse there, then let's think about in 2 years' time we're going to put a warehouse there, let's put a micro here so that we can do immediacy and see how we can challenge that market in that space. And also on the delivery front, the ability to deliver in the kind of vans that Ocado Retail uses, but also to have click and collect and to have drive through and different methods. So it is enormously flexible and it's enormously useful. And they also interplay, which I think is something that not everybody's understood well, in that a micro in a geography served by or in a travel distance from a large CFC is the world's most efficient micro because it can leverage the inbound capabilities, the stock holding and of the large CFC because it shares assets. And so stock can move cleverly between them and make for massive efficiency.
And do you think we have the perfect solution today, or do you think it's going to evolve much over time from the current model?
Stephen, I don't think that our solution has ever been evolving at the pace it's evolving today. So that's what's unbelievably exciting, is that if we wanted to just deliver the solutions we had today to our clients, we'd be winding down the size of our technology teams dramatically because we've delivered on so much of what we had promised. Obviously got more to go, but actually we're, as you know, I keep coming to you and asking for more money so that we can do more R&D. And so, because we have very clear ideas of what our ambition is and what we can deliver and what that means to our clients, what that means to end customers, what that means to ourselves, and how we can continue to evolve the grocery market so that one day our clients can deliver a better service at a lower price to their customers, and we can assist them in doing that at an even lower cost than we can today. And overall, dramatically better economics for customers, better economics for our clients, and better economics for Ocado.
Tim, moving on to a different topic, somewhat related, but a different topic, immediacy. The hot topic of the day, there's some crazy valuations out there. Tell me about your views on immediacy.
If you look at the grocery market globally, before the e-commerce even emerged in grocery, you had hypermarkets, which are the main distribution method in developed markets of food. You have kind of smaller formats like supermarkets, you have high street, you have convenience stores in like local high streets, and you have corner shops and kind of petrol, fuel forecourt stations and stuff like that. And they're all there because customers have got different missions. When you're going, the mainstream consumer, when they're buying the weekly grocery shop, they want large range and they want low prices, for which you can read hypermarkets. And whilst hypermarkets haven't been, the fastest growing part of the market for the last, say, 10 years for our large bricks and mortar customers or competitors here in the UK, they've nevertheless remained the vast majority of sales, right? You've also had smaller formats and convenience growing, but convenience, because it is a smaller format, has higher operating costs. That is passed on to the consumer in higher prices. Therefore, the consumer uses it sparingly. When I only need 1, 2, 3, 4 items, I'm happy to pay a higher price for them because that's still better value than driving to a hypermarket. And I just need to top something up. I need dinner for tonight, or I need to top up something in the fridge, or I've forgotten, we're running out of nappies midweek, right? And so I think these immediacy players are really moving into that space. Now, bear in mind that we have an immediacy format. We've called it Zoom. It's an interesting part of the market, immediacy, but it's not a replacement to the hypermarket, right? It's solving another mission. And we see that clearly in our data in Zoom, which, by the way, because it has a broad range, over 10,000 items, our average basket size is a multiple the size of, as we understand, the Deliveroo, the Amazon, the Getir, the Wheezy, the Deezer, this kind of stuff. So range and pricing are what drive bigger baskets. So I'm not against our clients, competitors, or ourselves being in the immediacy space and believing there is a market there, but it's a tiny market compared to the opportunity for the big warehouses. In the longer term, those immediacy offerings are for the mission. They're for they're for the football. We just realized we've run out of beer. Let's get some beer in while the match is still ongoing. People are not going to swap a 45, 50, 55 item weekly basket for 20 shops of 2 or 3 items coming 3 times a day. That's just not how people are going to behave. People do plan their lives predominantly and then have spontaneous needs on top of them. And so I think it's an interesting sector, but it's not going to be as big.
On a completely different topic, and the final question from me. So the OSP platform and the global appetite for that. How do you see that appetite today, Tim, and how do you see it panning out going forward?
We're still seeing growth in all of our clients, and I think our clients' expectations is for more growth than they were expecting at the point in time that they joined us. So I still see enormous runway for our global business. The sites that we've announced today and the intention from our clients, I think, is just the beginning. There are obviously markets beyond where we are in conversation with other retailers that we hope will come to fruition. And as you know well, because as I said, keep asking for money, we are hoping to develop solutions that will make the automation relevant in lower labor cost markets as it is in the higher labor cost markets we're predominantly serving today. And so I think that we need to start thinking about the global TAM of groceries, the kind of $10 trillion market, rather than the kind of 30, 35% or 40% of that is in the higher labor cost markets. And that's the scale of the opportunity that we need to pursue. And that's why we've got the scale and the depth of research that we're going on to solve this challenge, because there's going to be, the channel shift that is still to go on is enormous, and it is going to be in almost every market in the world, and we want to be at the center of that.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Tim.